From Hollywood, the George Burns and Gracie Allen Show for Hormel and Spam. Crazy people. Spam, rebop, boom, spam. George Burns, Gracie Allen, on the show and his orchestra, from singing glee with the Smoothies three. Last but not least, with Bud Heaston. It's time for fun with Burns and Allen, and time for you to discover the way women all over the country have learned how to give the family a breakfast that is different. Serve Spam and eggs. Just open a can of Spam, cut off slices of this delicious meat, and fry quickly in a hot pan. Man alive, how those golden brown, sizzling hot slices of tender, juicy, taste-tempting meat make a hit. The family will say, "Gee, Mom, that's the best breakfast we've had in a long time." That's because Spam is different. A combination of pork shoulder meat to make Spam sweet and juicy, and the ham meat it takes to give Spam that extra flavor and goodness. Look for this sentence, pork shoulder meat with ham meat added, on the label of the Spam can. Then you'll know you're getting the real thing, the genuine S-P-A-M Spam. Of our great big happy family, George and Gracie.
Thank you very much. Well, Gracie, tonight is election eve. Tomorrow is the big day. You go to the polls and you vote for the man you'd like to have with you for the next 4 years.
Oh, swell.
Who are you going to vote for?
Clark Gable.
Gracie, Clark Gable is handsome, romantic, a great lover, has a lot of personality, but he knows absolutely nothing about politics.
Well, nobody is perfect.
Look, try to understand. In order to run for office, you have to belong to a certain party.
That's Clark Gable.
What party does he belong to?
Carol Lombard.
Look, Gracie, I'll try to explain election to you.
Good.
Let's start at the beginning.
Good.
Now, where did you register?
Good.
No, where did you register?
Oh, at the corner drugstore.
Good.
So that's my store.
Never mind. Now, tomorrow, when you go into that drugstore, someone at the door will hand you a folded piece of paper. Do you know what's printed on it?
Giant size malted milk special today, 11 cents.
No, it's the ballot listing the candidates. Anyway, in the drugstore, you'll see a voting machine.
What's that?
What's at the polls that votes every 5 minutes?
My brother.
Gracie, did you read your ballot?
Oh, I know it by heart.
What's proposition number 5?
Let's park here, babe. I ran out of gas.
Gracie, I'd like to talk to you. Will you come a little closer?
That's proposition number 4.
Gracie, proposition number 5 is daylight saving time.
What's that?
Well, there's a certain amount of daylight in each day.
Yes.
They want to add 1 more hour to give us more sunshine. And I say, let's squeeze in the extra hour.
That's proposition number 3.
Look, Gracie, when I go to the polls, I'm voting against you.
Bueno, ¿y qué es eso del día, de la noche, de la hora, el cambio ese? Yo no entiendo qué cosa es eso.
Well, the kid is tired again. What is it, Senor Lee?
I know who you're going to vote for, Senor Burns. When you were talking on the telephone, I was eavesdropping.
It's not dripping, it's dropping.
Drip.
Drop.
Drip.
Drop.
Drip.
Drop.
We're having unusual weather?
Quiet, guitar player.
Say, George, does daylight saving time affect the whole country?
Well, yes, it does. You see, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west.
You know, it's too bad it doesn't rise in the west and set in the east.
Why?
Well, then you could drive to work in the morning without having the sun in your eyes.
Gracie, for thousands of years, the West has been in the West, the East has been in the East, the North has been in the North, and the South has been in the South.
That's the trouble with this country. It's in a rut.
Leave the country alone. It's doing fine.
You know, I think it'd be a lot better to put the Atlantic Ocean where the Pacific Ocean is and the Pacific Ocean where the Atlantic Ocean is.
Wait a minute.
And,
Wouldn't that be rather confusing?
well, that's the idea. It would fool the other navies.
Yeah, well, you haven't thought of an idea for Pikes Peak, have you?
Mm-hmm. I'd level it off.
You'd level off Pikes Peak?
Well, sure. So on a clear day, the people in Denver could see Catalina.
Marty, what are you going to play tonight?
The blues from William Grant Still's Lenox Avenue Suite, George.
Well.
By the way, I got it all in, too. George, who was that beautiful girl you were dancing with at Ciro's the other night? You really had a grip on her.
Well, for your information, wise guy, she happened to be my aunt.
Brother, if that was your aunt, somebody ought to tell your uncle.
Gee whiz. A fella can't go out with his own aunt without somebody making up a wisecrack. Fella's got to have a little fun. After all, you take all the sunshine out of life, and what have you got?
Daylight saving time.
That isn't what I meant.
George, I never knew you had any aunts.
Well, I have.
Yeah, the way he did that rumba, he must have ants.
Well, as long as you fellows want to talk about something, it wasn't my aunt. She happens to be Fifi Lamont, star of the Follies Bergère.
Star of the Follies Bergère?
That's right.
She must be costing you plenty.
Oh, yeah? Yesterday, she cooked dinner for me, and right after dinner, I wiped the dishes with her.
Well, is that easier than using a dish towel?
Imagine
Quiet.
a girl like that falling for an old thing like you.
Oh, yeah? If I'm such an old thing, how come the first time I met her, she took me for 25?
Well, maybe that's all the money you had.
Anyway, Fifi is coming up here tonight, and you'll really see a beautiful girl. Gee, I wish I knew something to say in French.
Well, say what my uncle said the first time he met a French girl.
What did he say?
Kiss que say, que si, que sa.
Kiss, que say, que si, que sa? What does that mean?
Well, I don't know, but it must mean something. They're married now and have 12 children.
Pardon, play. Kiss, que say, que si, que sa. rather swell, Artie. You really stepped out on that clarinet.
Oh, say, George, when is Miss Fifi of the Follies Bergère getting here? I'd sure like to meet her.
Oh, she'll be here. When she gets here, you'll really see something. She's really a doll face. And her nose is so cute, the way it turns up.
How long has it been lost?
Imagine her being stuck on me. You know, she's a Follies Bergère girl, and she's got stage door Johnnies.
Are they anything like the measles?
Gracie, don't you believe me? Look at my face. Can't you see it in my eyes? This time it's really love.
That's proposition number 3.
Bud, do you believe in love at first sight?
Oh, please, George, this is so sudden.
I don't mean that.
Oh, I know what you mean. I'll never forget once I met a fellow in the movies. He was sitting on an end seat, and there was an empty seat in the middle of the row. So I sat down in his lap, and I was watching the picture, and all of a...
Gracie, look, if there was an empty seat, why did you sit on his lap?
Oh, I hate to make people get up in the middle of a picture just so I can get a seat.
So you sat down on his lap?
Yes, and all of a sudden I felt his hand on my shoulder, and did I get mad? And I said to him,
Gracie, the man wanted to see the picture. After all, he couldn't see through you.
Yeah, but I could see through him, if you know what I mean.
I think I know what you mean.
And before I knew it, he grabbed me, and he hugged me, and he kissed me.
Well,
and
why didn't you call the manager?
I did. And he made him leave the theater and get in his car.
Well, that's the end of that.
No, I had just as much trouble with him in his car.
Well, anyway, wait till you meet Fifi. She's really something.
Well, I was out with a showgirl the other night, George, who was really something.
You, Bud Heaston, went out with a showgirl?
Oh, shh, not so loud. I don't want my scoutmaster to hear.
You a Boy Scout going out with a showgirl?
Well, you don't think the fellows call me Lone Wolf Heaston just because of my merit badges?
Well, what happened with this girl?
Well, the first night I met her, she threw her arms around me and kissed me for 22 seconds.
Well, how did you know it was exactly 22 seconds?
Well, because while she was kissing me, I said to myself, Spam is such tender, juicy, delicious meat. Spam is made of pork shoulder meat with ham meat added. That's why it's different. Spam makes a meal that sticks to the ribs and needs no refrigeration. And that always takes 22 seconds.
You know, Bud, as a lover, you're something less than a C. Aubrey Smith.
Say, George...
I thought that would get something. We had such a big argument about that.
Well, look, George, if you want a few hints on how to impress Fifi, listen to me. Now, first of all, you dress all wrong.
I do?
You should wear a dark suit and a red tie and a black shoe and a brown shoe and a carnation in your lapel.
Just a minute.
And...
I wear a black shoe and a brown shoe?
Well, certainly. You don't want her to think you only have one pair of shoes.
Well, all right. I'll go right out and get myself a black shoe and a brown shoe.
Open-toed.
Open-toed?
Well, you do want her to think you haven't any socks.
Well, thanks for the advice.
Oh, it was nothing. And when you take Fifi into a restaurant and you're drinking coffee, be sure to hold your little finger out.
Hold my little finger out?
Yes.
That's smart, huh?
Well, it's not smart, but you've got to have a place to hang your donut.
You know, Gracie, I'll make an impression on Fifi without your advice.
Senor Burns, if you want to make a hit with a girl, why don't you do what I do?
What's that?
Last night, I took my girl to a movie and bought her some orchards.
It's not orchards, it's orchids. The CH is pronounced like K.
Oh.
What movie did you see?
The Dictator with Carly Kaplan.
Well, I'll not only take her to the movies, but I'll also buy her a bottle of Campaign. Didn't I get it over? Gee, I wonder what's keeping Fifi. I'm going out to phone her. Soundman, open the door. Gee, it's 7:45.
7:45, oh.
Soundman, hey, 4 years in Harvard. What are you yelling about? What happened?
Forgive me, Mr. Burns. That was my draft number.
Well, they probably won't get to you for a long time, Harvard.
Well, I'm not worried about that. I just wanted to suggest somebody to take my place when I'm called. You see, it'll take me 8 or 9 months to break him in.
How can it take anybody 8 or 9 months to learn how to open and close a door?
He happens to be a Yale man.
Well, I'm going out to call Fifi. I'll be right back.
Hey, can you imagine George going out with a girl from the Follies Bergère? He's really a fast worker.
At his age, you gotta work fast. Come in.
Bonjour. Pardonnez-moi, mais je suis très tard et je cherchais monsieur... Oh, I say, I am looking for George Burns. He is here? Yes? No?
Now I know what George means. Boy, she's beautiful.
Yeah, should happen to me.
I'm just a little bit late, and I hope George is not angry with this Fifi.
Why, Sadie Smith!
Gracie!
Well, I haven't seen you since you and my sister were waitresses in the chili bowl.
Yes, say, whatever happened to Bessie?
Oh, she gave up her job. She doesn't have to work anymore.
You mean she got married?
No, she got divorced.
Oh!
Sadie, how long have you been in the Follies?
Me? I'm still a waitress at the chili bowl. But listen, don't tell George. I must always be Fifi to him.
Oh, that's a swell joke on George. He'll be right in.
Okay, then I guess I better go out and come back in again. I don't want him to get wise that you know me. Well, au revoir.
Demi-tasse.
Well, well. So George's French beauty turns out to be a waitress in the chili bowl, huh?
Shh, here he comes. Oh, I just called up Fifi and there's no answer. I wonder when my little lamb will get here.
Well, as soon as Fifi brings it.
Now the Smoothies, Babs, Charlie, and Little will sing Trade Wind.
Ooh, listen to the trade winds blow down where the trade winds play. Ooh, down where you lose a day. We found a new world where paradise starts. We traded hearts way down where the trade winds play. Music was everywhere. Ooh, flowers were in her hair. Under a morning of silvery boughs, we traded vows the night that I sailed away. Old trade winds, water miles that lovers make. Old trade winds are the only made to break. When it is May again, ooh, I'll sail away again. Though I'm returning, it's not the same. She traded her name down where the trade winds play. Old trade winds, water vows. What are the vows that all the lovers make? Trade winds are the only made to break. When it is May again, I'll sail away again. Though I'm returning, my love is burning. Still, it's not the same. You know, what love is so. Trade wind, blow, you gotta go. Oh, blow, you gotta blow. Trade wind, blow, blow.
Look, Gracie, you can help me out. You've been out with fellas.
Not since this morning.
Well, anyway, when Fifi gets here, she'll probably want to go to a nightclub, and I'd much rather drive to the beach. After all, a fella... Well, anyway, what does a fella say to a girl when he wants a spoon?
Well, that all depends whether you want a teaspoon or a tablespoon.
A teaspoon or a tablespoon? I'd like to know what goes on in your mind.
I'd like to know what goes on in every woman's mind.
You would?
You know, I got to thinking about you women in cities, towns, and villages all over this country, and the questions you must have in your minds when you go shopping. Being the wise shoppers that you are, you naturally are greeted with all sorts of claims and counterclaims about the food your family eats.
But when are you going to tell them about Spam?
Oh, right now, Gracie. Here's something you should know about Spam. The thousands of you who use Spam regularly have discovered that Spam is really delicious meat. Easy to use, handy to keep on hand because it doesn't need refrigeration. You know Spam is an ideal mealtime aid because fried, baked, or served cold, Spam really makes a hit. There's a reason for that. Spam is different. And to take the guesswork out of your shopping, we tell you right on the label just how Spam is made. Always look for this sentence on the label of the Spam can. Pork shoulder meat with ham meat added. There's the difference. Spam is nothing else but those two choice cuts. We use pork shoulder meat to make Spam sweet and juicy. We use the ham it takes to give Spam the extra flavor and goodness that simply would not be there without it. That's why Spam's meaty flavor, its tender goodness, has made it the most popular meat item in a generation. So whenever the occasion calls for delicious meat at your house, ask your food dealer for SPAM Spam. That's the way to ask for extra flavor, extra quality.
Slice it, dice it, fry it, bake it, cold or hot. Spam hits the spot.
Now listen, everybody. When Fifi gets here, I may act kind of bossy, and that's only because I want to show her that I'm the fella that runs all the stuff around here.
So you want to give her the impression that you're a big shot. You're going to lay it on thick, huh, George?
Well, yes, I'm going to lay everything on a platter.
Do you think she'll be able to lift it?
And another thing, Fifi never listens to the radio, and she doesn't know that I'm a comedian.
Oh, don't worry. She'll never find it out up here.
Well, in case I say something witty, I'd appreciate it very much if you'd laugh it up a little bit.
You mean like Don Wilson?
Well, not so much. Oh, well, that's her now.
Oh, quick, George, fix your tie. Your knot is loose.
My knot?
Yeah, oh, pardon me, it's your Adam's apple.
Oh, yes. I guess it slipped a little bit. Come in.
Ah, there you are, George, my darling. Now that I see you again, I am, how you say it, très contente, très heureuse, très charmante, très ravissante.
Ah, Fifi, you are lovely tonight.
Ah, you are très, très jolie.
Gracie, doesn't she talk a snappy French?
Yeah. You can notice it by the way she handles those trays.
Well, anyway, Fifi, this is Gracie Allen.
Oh, I am so very happy to meet you.
And Gracie, this is Fifi Lamont, star of the Follies Bergère.
How do, Fifi? Pull up a counter and sit down.
Please, and Fifi, this is Artie Shaw.
Oh, bonjour. Je suis très contente de faire votre connaissance. Monsieur Shaw, you are so ooh la la.
Fifi, you are so a la carte, a la mode, table d'hôte.
Well, don't mind him, Fifi. He probably learned his French off a menu. And this is Bud Heaston.
Oh, you American man, you are so merveilleux.
Well, what does that mean?
Well, that means terrific in French.
Oh, Fifi, Spam.
Spam? What does that mean?
Well, that's terrific in any language.
You know, that Bud always says the right thing.
Oh, yes, he's smart. Want to see him make a fire with 2 sticks?
A little later, not now. Fifi, now you've met the whole Spam family.
Poopsie, you're so busy you forgot to kiss your little Fifi.
Well, Fifi, you see, kissing, well, I read someplace that it shortens one's life.
Well, who wants to live forever? Come here, baby.
Never mind, Artie. I'll kiss Fifi. Come here, Fifi.
Oh, some kisser.
Yeah, hasn't he?
Please, Gracie.
You know, that Poopsie has really turned out to be quite a romantic kid.
Romantic? Here, read this poem you just
The
said.
poem?
Oh,
No,
let me
Fifi.
see it.
No,
Oh,
come
so
on.
Poopsie
Fifi,
writes
we've
poems.
got to go. We've got to get to the bowl. There's a concert.
Oh, well, goodbye.
Oh, Fifi, if you don't show me the poem, it may be chilly at the bowl, if you know what I mean.
Now, don't do it, Fifi. Let me give you a little tip.
Put it under the plate.
Quiet.
Oh, the poem, well, here it is.
What's it say? Yeah, let's see what
Oh, isn't this for
Gracie,
you?
give me that poem.
Now, please,
I won't
George.
let you read it.
Please.
Give me that poem.
George.
Well, Fifi, I'll talk to you later.
Fifi, you for me, Fifi. And to put it very briefy, if you will be my weefy, I'll be down to get you in a jiffy.
Oh, stop laughing. My name is George Burns, not Robert.
Never mind, Senor Burns. Your poem sounded like it was written by Keats.
The immortal Keats?
No, the dead-end Keats.
Well, come on, Fifi. Let's go.
Au revoir. Goodbye. Oh, and George, I want to congratulate you. Fifi's a lovely girl. You can depend on her.
Well, thanks, Gracie.
No matter what happens, she'll always be waiting.
Do you really think she'll always be waiting?
Unless she gets lucky like my sister Bessie and marries one of the customers.
What? Well, this is silly. Come on, Fifi, let's go.
Goodbye, Fifi, and make George take you in for something to eat.
Yeah? Well, don't worry about me being tight. I took her into Ciro's last night, and we had lobster, and you should have seen the one Fifi ate.
Ay, caramba, qué barbaridad. That's my draft number.
What's your draft number?
158.
Oh, this is silly. Well, goodbye, everybody. Come on, Fifi. We better
Say,
go.
Gracie, I can't let this thing go any further. I'm going to tip George off.
You mean you're going to tell him who Fifi really is?
Yeah, I'm going to give him a few hints. George!
What is it, Ollie?
Come here a second, will you, George?
Well, pardon me a second. I'll be right with you, Fifi.
Look, I'm in a very funny spot, George. I've been taking out a certain girl,
Yes.
and she fooled me by passing herself off as a big, glamorous star.
Yeah?
I just found out she works as a waitress in a restaurant. What do you think I ought to do, brush her off?
Brush her off. Why don't you do what I'm doing?
What you're doing?
Yeah. You see this glamorous French brave Fifi? Nothing. Sadie Smith works in a chili bowl.
You mean you knew that all the time?
Certainly.
And you're still taking her out?
Taking her out. Where else can you get a girl who looks like Hedy Lamarr, kisses like Ann Sheridan, and gives you a 10-course dinner for 39 cents?
Look, folks, Spam, a combination of meats originated by Hormel, has become a new word for something good to eat. Spam is the most popular meat item brought out in a generation. Hundreds of thousands of families from coast to coast are already using it regularly. Now, you've been listening to Burns and Allen each week. Are you one of the people who has promised yourself that you'd try Spam soon? If you haven't, now's the time. You're really missing something. Spam is handy, convenient, easy to serve, and downright delicious. Go to your food store tomorrow and ask for SPAM Spam.
Well, Gracie, say goodnight.
Well, just a minute, George. Before we go, I'd like to say something to all voters of this country.
Well, that's a lovely thought. Voters of this country, Gracie has something to say to you. Go ahead, Gracie.
Hello.
Good night, all.
Listen again next Monday night, same station, same time, for another Burns and Allen show with Artie Shaw and his orchestra and the Smoothie, brought to you by Hormel and Spam. This is Bud Heaston reminding you to remember that cold or hot, Spam hits the spot. Have you tried Hormel Chili Con Carne? You may think you don't like chili, but chili con carne the way Hormel makes it is different, and everybody likes it. Double your money back if you don't like it. Try Hormel Chili Con Carne tomorrow. This is the National Broadcasting Company.